Levi, Beto, Daisy, come get it! Hey buddy, where are the girls at? Are they following you? There's Meadow and Daisy. So welcome to the 10-acre woods. My name's Mark and I am up front in our front pen. Now, those of you who have been watching probably a little confused because Daisy's up here now and Billy is not. So last week we put Carl up front with the girls. Carl's our stud goat. And we left Billy in the front section here because when they get together, they tend to do a lot of damage. They're fighting each other for the girl, so to speak. So we put Carl in the front and Billy had escaped through the fence. We noticed him over on our driveway. We came out, we put him back up front. Tara even went and took a stick over by our electric fence and kind of pushed it out towards him, and he went in and got snapped. So we thought, okay, no, he knows the electric fence is there, he's going to stay away from it. Well, no, Tara had a feeling, and over in our chicken run, there is the fencing. We're planning on changing that out next year anyway. So Billy's remodeling, you know, kind of worked out okay. So we looked back in the footage, and there was Billy on the other side of the fence, and he was kind of trying to figure out how to get over to the girls. He saw Carl running around, having his good old time, and eventually Billy pushed underneath the gate, or underneath the fencing, and got into the Goose area. So at that time, Tara had gone out and found him and put him inside the building, called me out and said, okay, what are we gonna do? So we made the decision to put Billy in the back. We monitored them, and it actually worked out all right. Now, Billy is more alpha than Carl is, so Carl kind of gave up the fight, I guess you could say. So the relationship between them wasn't as aggressive as last year when they were both kind of fighting for dominance. And Billy is now alpha in there, and Carl's going to let him have that title. So it looks like things are going to work out all right. So we decided to put Daisy up here, just because Daisy didn't need all that goat running around fiasco happening, and it's worked out really well. So we've got Levi up here and Meadow, which we did put up in the last video. And then, of course, when Carl got out, we then brought Daisy up. And they've been doing very well up here because of all the extra grass. It's only been Billy and Carl for most of the summer. So there's been a fair amount of grass still remaining out in the area that they've been kind of munching on. So it's worked out well. So in doing the whole changeover by putting the equine up front, then it got us thinking. So last spring, or I guess this past spring, when we cleaned out the shelter, the main animal shelter, there was a lot of horse poop, and that was a good chunk of the waste that was in there. So I think by having these guys up front here is going to keep their waste up in the front area and take out some of that load, because we had probably a foot of mixed hay and manure that we hauled out, and it was a good day of work to clear that out. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out now, just by having the sheep, alpacas, and goats in that area. Now, I was also speaking with a good friend of mine over in Norway, River. So River watches all the videos. And I was speaking to him just this past week, and he reminded me of something that I've been meaning to bring up, but I kept on forgetting. It was probably a month ago now. We had a wild goose come in, a Brant goose, and he was inside the building. He had been attacked by a dog locally in the area, and we left him inside. It didn't look like there was too much damage, no broken bones or anything. So it looked like there was some swelling in the head. It only took a day or two for the swelling to go down. Everything looked good. We brought him outside, released him in with the other birds. Everything seemed well. He just kind of hung around, but the next day he flew off. So he successfully was released back into the wild. So there's a good story, and some of you may have been wondering about that. Now, in with our feed. So these are bags of feed. Some of the feed that we have: barley, wheat, oats. And if you look over here, you'll see a lot of mouse traps. So this time of year, we do get a lot of mice that come into the building here and, you know, eat the feed and try to find a place to hang out. Get into the insulation of the building, you know, whatever crevices they can get in. We've even had mice in the shelter or in the barn area running around. So Tara put these mouse traps out. She's caught quite a few mice, and what we've done with the mice is usually, you know, sometimes we'll give them to the chickens grab them, they'll run around and chase each other for them. But something you may not realize is Muscovy ducks, especially the males, they are meat eaters, and they will gobble a mouse up whole. So if you have any mice, instead of just tossing them in the trash, and if you have Muscovies, you might find it very interesting that it is a great protein additive for Muscovy ducks. So we have had lots of pumpkins donated, quite a few pumpkins. We don't need any more. They are, as I mentioned in a previous video, they are a good source of nutrients, and they are good for treating parasites naturally. Now if you hear, let's just turn on this other light. We still have little lady here. So the woman who is taking her is just getting everything organized at her farm. Okay. Getting everything organized at her farm. And then little needy lady will then be going over to her farm. And here's the rabbit that came in a week ago. What are you looking for? She's looking for just something. Food. That's all on your mind? All right, come here, little lady. Oh, yes. So pigs don't always like to be picked up. Did I say picked up? Picked up. And they tend to squeak quite a bit. Now, if you've never handled pigs before, and the squealing can be quite loud, and it almost seems like you're hurting them, but you're not. She's just saying, I want grains. Okay. You want to go back here, Sheldon? Oh, yes. Hi, Sheldon. Are you getting along with little lady good? Yes, she's always hungry. She's always a hungry pig. And then little Scooby here. So our little odd group of animals. Oh yes, I know. So you can see here we've got quite a few pumpkins. We brought them in because it has been getting quite cold out. If you noticed from the previous clip outside, there's no snow left. So it's supposed to be 15 or 17 degrees tomorrow, above 0 Celsius. So that is going to be quite nice. So we'll be able to get a few things done that we haven't been able to. Moira. Hi, Moira. So she's inside with Onyx, our little lamb. And Onyx has been doing really well, as you may have seen in the previous videos. So she was brought in very similar to a little lady, the piglet. Onyx was brought in about a week prior, and she was found wandering the countryside. Hi, Onyx. What are you doing? Are you eating hay? Yes. And she's extremely friendly and probably thankful, right? Yes. So Tara's always wanted a black sheep, and now she has one. So she will likely be staying here on the farm. Now we noticed that she had a little chunk of her ear that was that had fallen off, and was likely due to something that happened when she was out in the wild. Okay, you want to go? She could have been attacked by something, or she could have been injured by whatever means she found herself just kind of out wandering around. Could have been caught in a fence or something like that. It wasn't bleeding when she came in, but it was obviously damaged and wounded. But there's just a little chunk of her ear that kind of just fell off. So we sprayed it down with something called Blue Coat, which is antiseptic, and it's all healing up nicely. Hi, Moira. So our young Muscovy ducks and mama are growing up pretty fast. They're kind of at that awkward teenage age where they're not as cute as they once were and fluffy because their feathers are coming in, so they're kind of losing all of the little fluff, or the feathers are growing in amongst the fluff. So here are the indoor guineas and some hens in here. Now we still haven't made that opening. Tara had mentioned about making a little door to go back and forth in here that we could close off if necessary to segregate the two sides. And then we've got some other hens in here, as well as some pigeons. So the indoor pigeons, there are some outside. And then of course we've got Fernando. How you doing, buddy? It looks like that squash or pumpkin, or actually it almost looks like a gourd, has been pretty much cleaned out, nothing left but the shell. So the chickens really enjoy that, and so does Fernando. Hey, bud? Yeah. So they're going to be closed up in here for the winter. And the outdoor run that I talked about with Billy that had broken through is actually just on the other side of that door there. And we'll head out in the yard shortly and have a look at that area and let you know the plans. What is it? Oh, you are so needy. All right. Yeah, Sheldon. Sheldon's like, oh, this roommate of mine. Hi, Petey. No, it's not dinner time yet, bud. Where's your, oh, there's your girlfriend there. There's Piper. So how's my kids doing? I hear some funny sounds out in the yard. So there's Billy. What is it, Billy? And he's taken quite a liking to Charlotte here. So you can see Billy is kind of closer into the building. Carl is out a little bit further here. But things have calmed down considerably when they first got put in. So the girls aren't quite as excited and running around, and the boys aren't chasing them so much. They're just doing these goofy things. All right, so there you can see Billy kind of told Carl, he's like, no, you stay away from the girls. These are my girls. Now, one thing that did happen is when Billy first came into this area, inside there's a section that separates at the door. There's some 2x4s. Oh, so we might even put Carl up front and just leave Billy back here with the girls. But what Carl ended up doing is he headbutted at Billy, but of course there was the 2x4s, and you can see he broke the tip of his horn off again. So hey, bud. So we put some Blue Coat on there, and it's healing up nicely. But we may just put Carl up front. We'll see how things go. He is not going and fighting Billy, so he's running away. So that means that Billy is the alpha. Oh, the funny noises that goats make. Billy, what are you doing? So the scent that a male goat will, an intact male goat will give off is quite the scent. And that scent has obviously gotten to the girls, and they're not running away anymore. What'll happen? He's just going to chase Carl off. Poor Carl. Oh. So the girls will just hang around, and there was actually the other day I noticed Charlotte. Where did Charlotte go? She is actually over here. Her and Carl, or actually her and Carl were together, and you could see that she was ready. She was in love, we'll say. Her tail went up, and she was wagging her tail, and she seemed interested instead of all the running away. So there's quite a bit of back and forth, as you can see, but possibly moving Carl back up front might be a good idea, just to kind of relax the atmosphere, which was what we were kind of going for when we only put Carl up front. So here is the bird area. Now the ducks and geese have access to this through an open door that's over there. And that's the post there that Billy kind of came under. There is a door over there, but I guess he found the weak spot being the fence. And this is a section that we want to rebuild. Tara was talking about it in the fall. Our greenhouse that we built this year is made up some metal racking. So the idea is to make some more of that racking into a framed-in area very similar to our trellis, I guess I should say, and greenhouse framing, and then have that as the chicken run. And so, what are you doing out here, bud? You're supposed to be on the other side. Here, let's get him in. Oh, how do you do that without letting the roosters out? So this is one of the cheese and quackers. Here, yeah, come over there. There you go. No, over here. Okay. Let's see if we can get him back in. Okay, that way, that way. There. No. There, no, you almost got it. There you go. Good boy. I don't know how he got out. They can jump up. So he probably came up and jumped up onto this fence here. And here is Mr. High. How you doing, bud? He's the ankle biter. Well, ankle biter, I guess pant biter. Always wants the attention. So it can get pretty mucky in here. You can see how the ducks like to play in the water. Not so much the Muscovies, but the other ones do. They'll go and they'll play in it and drink it until it's gone. The Muscovies are kind of a little more higher class, I guess you could say, than the ducks. They're more gentle and delicate when they're drinking, whereas, of course, the rowan ducks and other domestics will just get in there and splash. Looks like most of them are done their bathing ritual. They will get much dirty over the coming months, for sure. We've got the roosters here. They're all hanging out. Aren't you going to go over to your brother? I think this is either cheese or quackers. I'm not sure which one. They both look the same. And then they will go into this area here. We'll close this door in here, and this is going to be their winter area. We've got poly on the walls here. Tara's even shoved some insulation or some hay as insulation up into the corners. And we'll usually get quite a few wild birds that are in here, which I don't see any today, but that's probably because it's nice and warm. And then we've got our rabbits out here. Marlene was out and brought some treats for them. So you can see there's some peas and there's some carrots and some other goodies in there. So they're chewing away at that. What are you chewing away at? You know, you're hilarious, buddy. Well, at least you're getting your exercise, aren't you, girl? Well, that's a sheep, Carl. Now, some of you have talked about Geese, which is a cross between a sheep and a goat. And you've asked, you know, well, will the goat actually breed the sheep? So there has been some talk about Geese, which is the cross. There's been none that have been scientifically proven and documented, but there has been some out there on the internet. If you were to Google Geese, I think there's a farmer in Scotland that has apparently had a cross, but it really looks like a small lamb. So there's been no scientific proven documented cases of a Geese. We have had sheep. That's how Tara says it, sheeps. In with our goats, in with our stud goats for quite a few years, 20-ish years now, and we have had no cases of pregnancy. All of our rams, our male sheep, are fixed. So there's George there. He's fixed as well. What do you think, George? George, what do you think of all the craziness? What is it, Carl? Oh, poor boy. Poor stinky boy. All right, so I called Tara out, and we're going to take Carl and put him up front and see what happens.
Come on. I know you're tough nut. I'm going to stink.
Yeah, I know. That's the scent, for sure.
No, we're going.
So we're not sure if he is going to stay. We may need to put Charlotte up front with him, which might be an idea. So it's all going to be a learning curve, I guess. We could put them inside, which when we had Billy, we put Billy inside. And he started banging on the walls. So he was going to injure himself and do damage to the building, and it just wasn't a good solution. So we'll see what happens with him up front here. Levi says, what a crazy animal. What is that, Levi? Says, I thought he got rid of him. Hey, what do you think, Levi? Is that a crazy goat? Yeah, he says, don't you dare with me. So now Levi is kind of showing his dominance because of what Carl's doing. But Levi's been never one to kick. He is, he just shows his butt, don't you? Yeah. They've been getting burrs. Oh, yeah. There we go, got it. So yeah, the goats, because it was just Carl and Billy up here, what we're thinking about doing is putting sheep and the goats up here possibly next year for, you know, kind of like a spell, like the week kind of thing, just so that they can mow down some of that unwanted material that the goats don't eat.
Carl!
Well, we could grab Charlotte.
He's better off just putting him back there. Carl! 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 Carl. Hi. Like you can see it, he's going through.
Yeah, yeah, he's gonna go.
Like you can tell by his behavior.
Yeah, he just wants to go through the fence. All right, hang on. Yeah, hang on. Oh, so Billy's not in here. Oh, there's Billy. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. So when we brought Carl in, of course, there was a lot of commotion because the does, the females, had come out into the yard. So now Carl is just hanging out comfortably out here, while all the girls are back into the shelter. And of course, Billy's guarding the shelter door, so Carl will likely remain outside. Poor boy. What? Petey? I don't know where he probably wants dinner. It's time change is messed up everybody, hasn't it, Billy? But it's amazing, the girls actually came back in because they see Billy as alpha. They're running away from Carl, but they're hanging out with Billy. So it's interesting how the animal kingdom does work. You're just gonna hang out here, Carl? Yeah. So here's an example. You can see how Blackie's tail is wagging. And she's had her butt towards Billy. Now Blackie's the alpha female. So after about probably a month, the boys should have calmed down by then. Once the girls are bred, and then we're going to likely try to put both of them probably back up front again. We'll have to talk about it. We may even leave them back here through most of the winter. We've done that in the past. But once the girls are all bred, then everything should calm right down, and we're not going to see this male action happening. Oh, Petey, what is it? Is it dinner time? Well, not yet. You didn't get the time change memo, obviously. Yes, I know. You're just like our little lady inside. Food, food, food. You want the good stuff. Somebody had asked about pigs and do they eat hay? They actually eat quite a bit of hay. Piper is over around the corner here, and she's rooting through, and she's eating the hay. And then, of course, they do make their nest. They'll collect. It's funny talking about pigs and nests, but they do make a nest, and here are their imprints, or one of them anyway, the last one that got out of bed. Petey, are you going to bed? There we go. Settle in. As the weather gets colder, Petey and Piper will get lower and lower in their nest, burrowing further down until mid-winter. You won't even see them. They'll be completely underneath their hay. Wow, the sun's come out. Sun out before the storm. Western Canada is supposed to get a blizzard, although here in our region in Manitoba, it looks like thunder showers, possibly. November, almost mid-November, and we're getting thunder showers, so that's kind of unheard of. So I hope you enjoyed this video, a little look at how the goats react. A little bit of the mating rituals, I guess you'd say. If you have any questions about this video, or if you have an idea for a future video, please leave it down below in the comments. And I'll wish you all a happy and safe week, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.